Deportiva y con swing.
Deportiva y con swing.
La factoría del deporte desde New York para ti. Es una máquina.
Es una máquina
Pensada para ti.
pensada para ti. Número uno en las redes, dale like y compartir.
Con informaciones importantes siempre frescas.
Y con entrevistas que te ponen de cabeza.
Lo mejor del deporte lo encontrarás aquí.
Búscale en las redes, dale like y compartir.
Suscríbete,
Ay sí,
infórmate.
ok. Dale a la campana para que te llegue.
Okay, we have 1 o'clock. Marco, are you there?
Siempre ellos van a preguntar primero, yo te traduzco y entonces tú respondes. Cualquier duda que tú tengas o algo, tú me dices ahí. Yo voy a tener la cámara puesta. ¿Te parece bien? Dale, pues entonces yo te escribo como en 5 o 10 minutos, ya Marco está hablando. Dale, pues.
Marco, can you hear me? Marco, can you hear us?
Caballo, ¿todo bien?
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. I got bumped out here for a second. I was having a little bit of internet issues, but it's fixed now. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, no worries. Thank you for taking the time here, Marco. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, so guys, let's get started. We'll start off with Bruce. So if Bruce, you want to ask your question, go ahead.
All right, thanks, Joe. Marco, first of all, hello, how are you? Glad you're joining everybody. And number one, my question is, what stood out to you about the tools for Oscar, and how much pause did it cause you knowing he hasn't played competitively for 2.5 years?
Oh, thank you, Bruce. Yeah, obviously, you know, the history that we have with Oscar goes back all the way to 2015, if I'm not mistaken. I saw him in Japan. He was on the Cuban national team, along with Luis Robert and Yormer Sanchez and Yormer Sanchez. So the tools from the get-go were big. You know, for a guy with his kind of arm, which is something you don't see every day, playing in the outfield, he's got an 80 arm, probably even better than that. With the accuracy, the ability to play the outfield was very advanced for a kid at that age. And obviously the bat and the power that he has is something that is very attractive. Obviously the delayed in him getting back on the field because of the time we had to wait to get him signed is somewhat of a concern, but you know, he's a young kid. He's 23 years old, just turned 23, and you know, it's almost like a guy going through the minor league system. The good thing that we have with Oscar is that he played in Japan. He's played at the professional level already. So this slight interruption that we had, 1.5 years that we had because he was out waiting to solve his situation with the contract and being a free agent is a little bit of a concern, but nothing out of the ordinary because he's still young.
Why is it that the comments so far have been that the concentration is going to be on him being a position player only.
Well, the times that we've seen him, and like I said, it extends quite a few years. He could pitch somewhat, but he's really not a pitcher. You know, he's a young guy. All good athletes pitch at some point in their career, and you know, he did it on a part-time basis when he was on the Cuban national team. He did it on a part-time basis when he was in Japan. But primarily, is that he wants to be a position player, and he feels that he's got a better chance to be successful as a position player. And we feel like his development as a pitcher would take much longer than a position player. So for that kind of player with that type of power, that type of ability on the field, you know, obviously we're looking for a guy that has the opportunity to get to the major leagues a lot quicker. So from that standpoint, from the development standpoint, it makes sense to keep him as a position player.
Next question comes from Scott Merkin. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Marco, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Scott. How about you?
Good. Can you talk a little bit about Erick Hernández, your other signing along with Oscar? And I know he's he's quite a bit younger than Oscar, and how you project him out for the future.
Erick is a young guy that we've followed for quite some time also. You know, Dominican kid, lives in the Mocha area. I don't know if you guys remember, but you know, the White Sox used to have an academy in Mocha quite a few years back, and he still remember going as a young kid to go see the White Sox play Mocha. So he's been a bigger fan of us before we got to know him. But you know, he's a great kid, hard worker, hard-nosed, high energy type of player, left-handed bat, very advanced bat for a 16-year-old kid. You know, we spent quite a few trips with him. He played in the States, played in Arizona with the MLB Combine. We've seen him in the Dominican. We've seen him in other countries in showcases, and he's displayed the ability to hit that most kids don't show at that age. And then to play in the outfield, be able to play center field at this age, this young, is very impressive. And, you know, the power that he has and the power that he projects is also that, you know, gave us the confirmation that he has a chance to be a special player also.
How important are these, you know, young prospects, a kid like that who's 16 and, you know, has a ways to go to get there, to kind of balance the system, you know, keep it kind of solvent for years to go?
Absolutely. When you get a young player, 16-year-old, that you know that he's got time to go through the system, there's no rush, and then he has ability. Obviously, you have to build for the future. I think Rick has always said that, you know, we have to build for the future, and he's a guy that has ability, and you know, he shows that now at 16. You know, we just hope that everything goes well with his career, and by the time he's 20, 21, he may be a guy that we all be talking about all over again, because he's got that kind of baseball ability.
Next question comes from Cheryl Ray. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Hi, Marco. Thank you for taking us. Good questions. Marco, how much does the background of the White Sox with Cuban players in the past and the present help you when you are wooing these guys and trying to sign these guys?
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Yes, there's no doubt that the history is there. There's no doubt that everybody in baseball, whether it's in the United States or outside the United States, knows about the history that the White Sox have with the Cuban players. And, you know, for me, coming to this organization, signing Cuban players elsewhere, coming in here was like icing on the cake, because, you know, I mean, we believe in these players. We know these players. We understand these players. The system is in place for them to quickly progress through our system. So yes, it helps, because everybody in baseball knows that the White Sox, you know, follow Cuban players, and you know, once they're out there, then there's always an opportunity to sign with us.
Did you hear from Oscar how much he knew the connection with White Sox and the Cuban players?
Absolutely, and especially because he played with Luis and he played with Yorber Sanchez, and those guys, even though he was in Japan, they communicate through the internet and things of that nature. So yes, he was very aware of our history, and like I said, he had a couple of friends, not only Yorber and Luis, but Cespedes was also a guy that he played with, and Nor Rivera, which is from the same city that he comes from in Cuba. So yeah, there's a connection there. Those guys know that they know each other, and they know that, you know, we are very aggressive with the Cuban players. So they all want to come here, which is a plus.
Our next question comes from Vinny Duber. Go ahead, Vinny.
Hey, Marco, when you got a guy like Oscar who, you know, is 23 years old, has played at the pro level, like you mentioned in Japan, do you look at a guy, are you excited about a guy who might have a pretty short, path to the major leagues and is advanced enough to kind of start thinking about that in the near future? Sure,
Vinny. Look, he's advanced. There's no secret that, like I said, he played in Cuba. Those guys, for most part, are advanced, and he was on the national team for quite a few years. And his experience with Japan, you know, allowed him to play at a higher level. There's no doubt that, you know, we feel like with his experience, he's got a quicker path to the big league, but all that stuff is determined once the player really gets engaged over here in the States and start playing, and how well he progressed. And once our player development people start looking at what are the possibilities, where to go, where to send him, when is he ready, when he's not. But for most part, the learning curve is already there because he's already experienced baseball at a higher level. So he's already passed that process.
Our next question comes from James Fegan. Go ahead, James.
Hey, Marco, good to see you again.
Good to see you, James.
What has Oscar been able to do in the last couple of years in terms of baseball activity? It seems like he's kept himself in good shape, and where do you kind of think he's at in his development as far as like what might be the next step for him?
Well, you know, he's done just about everything that most July free agents do, July 15 or January 15 players do. You know, a lot of these guys get deals early, but they continue to play within the leagues, between the complexes and things of that nature. So from a baseball standpoint, it's not like he's been sitting at home. He's been seeing pitchers. He's been involved in games, control, scrimmages, things of that nature. Obviously, the real deal begins once he comes to the States. But from a baseball standpoint, I think it's just a matter of him just getting a few months under his belt to see how quick he adjusts to the level of playing here, and then go from there. He's a very, very good competitor, very aggressive. He's into doing what he needs to do to stay at a high level of excellence when it comes to playing. So from that standpoint, you know, Oscar is ready mentally. Obviously, his baseball activities are going to start slowly, and then eventually, once our people determine how well he adjusts to each situation, then that will determine itself. It's kind of hard to pinpoint whether he was playing or not playing. It's kind of hard to pinpoint when he's going to be ready for the big leagues. I think the most important thing is mentally he's there, he wants to be there, and he's going to do whatever it takes to put himself in a situation where he gets ready to advance to our system.
Do you feel like he could be ready for minor league baseball in the States this year, or is that something that's geared towards?
Sure, absolutely, yeah, he's ready for minor league baseball this year.
And with Erick Hernández, we talk so much about Cuban players here, but what does it mean for this organization to kind of make a big splash in the Dominican for someone like him, committed 7 figures for someone from down there?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it goes back to what we said from day one. We have our eyes set on the better players that we can get, depending on the market, whether they come from Cuba, Dominican, Venezuela. And, once again, he's another proof that, that we're trying to get the better players in the market. And Erick is a prime example of that. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun watching him playing.
Our next question comes from Lamont. Go ahead, Lamont.
Hey, Marco. Yeah, I think the release did say that the White Sox throughout the years have signed a number of top 15 international prospects. Just what does that say about the scouting department that you guys have been able to have that sort of success throughout the years?
Well, like I said, we work together. The biggest thing is to work together. Our guys are focused on trying to get the better players in the market. Obviously, it's an open market, so you can't get them all. but we focus on impact players. We focus on guys that we feel have a chance to be impact players for the Chicago White Sox. And when we have an opportunity and all the criteria are met, then we go forward. We have the support from our front office, from our ownership. I've said it for years, Jerry, Kenny, and Rick have been very supportive, and ownership has been very supportive to give us the opportunity to go after these guys. And that's what we do. We try to stay aggressive and at all levels in every country.
Next question comes from Chuck Garfine. Go ahead, Chuck.
Hey, Marco, is there a story about Oscar that stands out for you? Something he did when you watched him play on the field, something he's done off the field, about his makeup that stands out for you as to why he's such a special player in your mind, and is the reason why you guys decided to sign him?
Sure. I remember when I was in Japan, he was on the Cuban national team and he was playing first base. He came in and threw for an inning. Then he went to right field in the same game. So he never left the game, but he wanted to win so bad. And if I'm not mistaken, they were playing Canada or something like that. And, but he wanted to win so bad. So he was playing first. He came in and pitched for a couple innings, ended up playing in the outfield. And right away you see a guy and he was young. At that time, he was 14 years old, maybe 15, just turning 15. But he showed that desire, that hunger, that ability to compete that you're looking for. And you know what? Once you see that, you always remember that. So from that standpoint, from the competitive standpoint, you can see it right away. And then once you get to meet him and talk to him in person, obviously, then you really know who you're dealing with. This kid is very focused on what he needs to do. He wants to win. He wants to win bad, and he wants to be successful. And those kind of guys, once you see that, then obviously it's an attractive tool that you look for.
Looks like Bruce, you have another question. Go ahead, Bruce.
Marco, question number one is: do you expect him to be in spring training? And once he gets here, do you expect him to stay in the United States?
Yes, we expect him to be in spring training right away. At 23 years old, like I said, and been out of baseball for a couple of years, he's going straight to spring training, and we expect him to stay in spring training. And we expect him to, with all the help that he's going to get there, with all the attention he's going to get there, our staff can't wait to put their hands on him, and all the good advice that he's going to get from players that are currently there, and the attention he's going to get from players. I mean, he's obviously ready to go. But yeah, we expect him to be in the States as soon as his visa process is over.
And the other question is, like you said initially, there is a rust factor for not having played in games. You already said he's been playing in games, but what is the biggest hurdle from what you've seen for players that have laid off for a couple of years getting back into rhythm?
I think that the most important thing, and we all aware of it, is not to expect him to come out tomorrow and be at his highest level. I think the way you manage the player has a lot to do with the way he makes the progress and how well he advanced to our system. So we're prepared for that. Our guys are prepared for that. This is not the first time. It's no different than a guy coming back from an injury. They've been there, they've done that, they've seen it, they handled it before. So I have no concerns whatsoever that they're going to handle him in such a way that, they'll give him some freedom to do some stuff. And then when they have to hold him back, they'll hold him back. Control. It's a controlled type of development that they're going to do with him, but I have no concerns about that.
And it looks like our last question comes from James. Go ahead, James.
How eager do you sense he is to kind of get going and, especially get back on the field and start playing after, the layoff that he's had from at least, competitive ball up to a level he's capable of?
No, he's ready. He's ready. Like I said, he's mentally ready. He can't wait. And I don't think that the one thing with him, he's not going to be intimidated by this new experience. I think when you look at Oscar signed to go to Japan at the age of 18, if I'm not mistaken. He went over there, he handled that very well. He felt it was time for him to move on to a new market. He handled that, and now he's at this new market. So I think that at the end of the day, he won't show any intimidation whatsoever. He's a guy that's confident, and he wants to do this more than anything else.
And with Hernandez, do you see him as kind of a future power hitter, or do you see him as a kind of a pure hitter who's going to get stronger over time?
No, Hernandez is going to have power. Hernandez is going to have power. I mean, he has some power now, obviously, but as a 16-year-old, you have to project that a little bit. But he shows you the ability to hit for power, and his power in the last year or so is growing more than when we saw him the first time. So at the end of the day, he's got power, and he's got a chance to be, whether he's center field or corner guy, he's got enough power to play either one.
It was like Mark Gonzalez. Go ahead, Mark.
Hi, Marco. I know you
Thank
made
you,
some
Mark.
comments earlier about Oscar and his positioning as a position player. And I was just wondering, with today's game and now, premium on versatility, was there any temptation just to maybe look at him as a pitcher down the road, just to see if he might be that guy that could fill in, give some innings down the road in addition to what he does as a position guy?
Obviously he's a good athlete, and he has the ability to be able to develop as a pitcher at some point. But, in his mind, he's not focused on being a pitcher because he never did it full time. I'm pretty sure that every good athlete at some point pitched, whether it was in high school or college, and eventually they had to make that decision. I know there's been a lot of comparisons to, they call him a Cuban Otani or things of that nature, but he's not focusing on being a pitcher, and his development as a pitcher will take a lot longer. So from that standpoint, to sacrifice his ability on the field to make him a pitcher that is not going to be a starter, it's a little tougher. I mean, does he have ability to relieve? He probably does. Like I said, it's going to take longer, but he's focused on being a hitter, and we feel personally that he's got a chance to be an impact player as a position player. So you sacrifice the thought or the idea, or maybe thinking, well, this could happen, to something that's a little bit more tangible, something that you can feel, and something that's there right now with his power, his bat, his defensive ability, and his ability to run the bases. You sacrifice too much to start working sort of like on a secondary career, because he did pitch some, but it wasn't as a full-time player.
Essentially, you don't want to put too much on his plate right now.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And he doesn't want to put too much on his plate right now, because at that level, it's a little tougher. Like I said, he pitched somewhat in Cuba as a part-time pitcher, but he wasn't a starter. He was a guy that came out of the bullpen, and he pitched some in Japan, very little, but he wants to be a position player. And we feel, when we first approached him, was with the thought of being a position player, because I've seen him grow over the years as a pitcher and a position player. And as a pitcher, he wasn't as attractive as a position player. So at that point, we made a decision to go forward with him as a position player, because the levels of ability are completely different.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Do we have anything else for Marco before we get Oscar on? No? All right, perfect. Marco, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with the media today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. We should have Oscar should be joining us shortly. And Billy is on now to, he will translate for Oscar. So once we get Oscar on, we'll get started.
Okay, guys, I think Oscar is already here. Oscar, ¿me escuchas? Creo que tienes el teléfono en silencio.
Ya.
Ok, listo. Ajá.
Ya.
Dale, caballo, muchas gracias. ¿Puedes acercarte un poquito a la cámara?
¿Más?
Sí.
Ahí.
Ahí está bien. Perfecto. Hey guys, we have Oscar Colás with us. Then if you have any question, please raise your hand. Sorry, Joe.
No, you take it over, Bill.
Vinny Duber, go ahead, Vinny.
Hello, Oscar. What about the White Sox was attractive to you when you signed up to join the organization?
Oscar, qué te llamó la atención de los White Sox para firmar con ellos?
No, lo que me llamó fue que es una organización que hay muchos cubanos, una organización que hasta donde yo conozco como de la nación de los White Sox, es una organización guerrera que siempre está peleando por ganar el juego diario y que son un equipo muy unido.
I knew that the White Sox was a very good organization, especially with the Cuban players. And I also knew that this organization always likes to play hard and win games. And that was what attracted me about this organization. Attracted me the most about this organization. Maddie?
Oscar, congratulations. You mentioned all the Cubans in this organization. It sounds like you know a handful of guys in this organization. What conversations were you having with them kind of leading up to this move?
Parece que tú conoces a algunos de los jugadores cubanos que tiene esta organización. ¿Has hablado tú con ellos y qué te han dicho ellos del equipo?
No, yo hablo mucho con Luis Robert, con Cepe, con Jorge Sánchez. Nada, ellos me dicen que me están esperando, que vaya para allá con mucha ganas, como que a meter mano, que el equipo es un equipo que da muchas oportunidades y que vaya positivo para allá.
Yes, I've talked a lot with Luis Robert, Gilbert Sanchez, and Cespedes and Joalki. And, what he told me is like, this is a very good organization that they're very excited of having me. And they just want me to join them and play hard as they do, as they are doing it here.
How do you describe your relationship with Luis Robert specifically, and any stories that you can tell us about your guys' friendship?
¿Cómo es tu relación con Luis Robert y cómo la describes tú?
No, excelente. Luis Robert es mi hermano de chiquitico, o sea, de 2015 que nosotros viajamos juntos a Japón y hubiésemos tenido una amistad buena, nunca hemos tenido problemas, siempre todo positivo.
We have an excellent relationship. We know each other since we were kids, since 2015. And then from that time on, we've been, just together and just beginning in each other. And, just like my brother. Mark?
Hey, Oscar, congratulations. Marco talked about that you're going to be focusing on playing the outfield and being an offensive player. Did you have interest in pitching, or is that a good thing that you're just focusing on one thing?
Marco le dijo a ellos que tú estás enfocado pues en jugar en el outfield. ¿A ti te llamaba la atención pichar o ya eso es algo pues que tú habías dejado en el pasado, que ya habías desechado?
No, ya. Lo de pichar yo dejé en el pasado, desde que el primer año mío en Japón fue que yo dejé de pichar. O sea, yo hace años que no picheo y no, hasta ahora el equipo no tiene interés en que yo piche, ni yo tampoco. Hasta ahora Marco me dijo que me enfocara más en el bateo, que me olvidara lo del picheo.
Pitching is in the past for me. I think the last time that I pitched was my first year in Japan. When I signed with the organization, they told me that they weren't interested in my pitching, and I wasn't really into it. Then it was an easy decision. My focus right now is just be an outfielder.
So what is your reaction when people refer to you as the Cuban Ohtani?
¿Cuál es tu reacción cuando la gente se refiere a ti a veces diciendo que tú eres el Ohtani cubano?
No, mi reacción es normal, ya que eso fue como una imagen que yo creé hace un par de años atrás. Ya para cambiar eso, ya todo, porque no es todo el mundo que no sabe que ya yo no picheo, son muy poca gente. Y nada, yo me siento bien porque me están comparando con uno de mis jugadores favoritos. Me siento excelente con eso la comparación.
I don't pay too much attention to that. I think that nickname was created because I used to pitch, but it wasn't really my thing. To me, it's an honor to be called that way because Otani is a great player and he's one of my favorite players. But right now my focus is in just playing out the outfield. James.
Oscar, congratulations. Marco talked about you kind of coming here to spring training and getting started playing in the United States right away. Why was it important for you, especially after the time you've had between being able to play, to kind of get started right away?
Marco le dijo a ellos que, pues que tú ya estabas listo para venir a Estados Unidos y estar en el spring training y eso. Él pregunta qué tan importante es para ti, pues, comenzar ya a entrenar como formalmente con el equipo y estar pues ya mostrando lo que puedes hacer con el equipo.
No, para mí es muy importante, ya que, o sea, es importante incorporarme ahora en el equipo, ya que voy a empezar a hacer una familia, a entrenar como equipo, o sea, hacer todo como equipo, conocernos más. Y yo me siento ready para enfrentar esa competencia, ya que yo vengo ya de jugar en Japón, que pienso yo que viene siendo casi lo mismo que entrenamiento, y yo voy para adelante, que es lo que yo vine aquí a Dominicana y fue eso.
To me, it's very important to join the team and join go to the spring training and start building that chemistry, that family chemistry and atmosphere around this team. But most importantly, I just want to start playing and see, what I can do here. I don't, because I play in Japan and I have the experience there, I don't think that's going to be that much different here compared to Japan. But obviously, it's something that I get to, that I have to get used to it. And, I'm just ready. I'm just ready to start doing and to start showing what I can do here and start playing.
How much have you been able to play, since leaving Japan to kind of stay fresh, and how sharp do you feel to kind of get started with spring training?
¿Qué tanto has sido tú capaz de mantenerte jugando y cómo te sientes tú de tu condición física, de tus condiciones pues, de jugar pelota en estos momentos con todo el tiempo que tuviste fuera?
No, mis condiciones físicas son excelentes. Yo en estos años que he estado aquí, en 2 años que he estado aquí, me he mantenido preparándome fuerte, tanto en el gimnasio, tanto en un terreno de pelota, tanto en el outfield, tanto en el bateo. Yo me he mantenido siempre haciendo mi pitcher, haciendo mi defensa, agilidades, o sea, cosas de juego. A veces en el play que yo entreno jugamos, o sea, hacemos como un simulacro de juego.
Physically, I feel good. I feel strong. I've been working out a lot here. I've been doing all my baseball drills in the outfield, hitting, and I feel good. I've been playing some games here too in a controlled environment. Like I said, I just feel good. I haven't stopped working, and physically I feel good. I feel just ready to start playing with the team. Lamont?
Hey, Oscar, congratulations. What was that experience like in Japan, and just what did you learn about yourself as a ball player?
¿Cómo fue tu experiencia en Japón y cómo, pues, para ti como jugador, cómo te viste?
Sí, para mí Japón fue como una escuela, ya que yo fui a Japón con muy poco conocimiento de lo que es jugar béisbol profesional. Y allí poco a poco me fueron enseñando cómo jugar la pelota profesional. Para mí eso fue una experiencia muy bonita, ya que gracias a ellos, también agradezco a ellos, hoy por hoy tengo ese talento para poder firmar con una compañía, con un equipo de Estados Unidos.
Japan was like going to school for me, because when I went there, at first I didn't have the knowledge of professional baseball. Then I learned there how to play in a professional level. And, it was a really good experience, because at the end, that experience gave me the chance to sign in the US, sign with the White Sox. Then it definitely is something that I appreciate, and I'm very glad to have that experience. And yeah, it was something that helped me a lot.
We Billy, saludos. Oscar, congratulations. Oscar, felicidades. You've had the opportunity to get called up for the Cuban national baseball team. You've played for Japan. What does it mean to you to finally make it or get this opportunity to play in Major League Baseball? And what does it mean to your family as well?
Tuviste la oportunidad de jugar con el equipo nacional de Cuba, de jugar en Japón, y ahora pues vas a tener la oportunidad de jugar aquí en Estados Unidos con los White Sox. ¿Qué significa pues esta oportunidad para ti y para tu familia?
No, esta oportunidad para mi familia, para mí personalmente es muy importante, ya que di un paso en mi carrera que yo, desde que entiendo lo que una pelota profesional, quería darlo. Y para mi familia también es muy importante, ya que soy el único pelotero que ha salido de la familia. Ellos se sienten orgullosos de mí, gracias a Dios, y siempre me han apoyado. Y nada, y ahora con esto, en lo que yo pueda, tengo varias metas que cumplir, o sea, varias cosas importantes, como que, un ejemplo, quiero sacar a mi mamá de los problemas que ella tenía antes, como ejemplo, comprarle su casa, varias cosas.
Pues te deseo todo el éxito del mundo, hermano. Felicidades.
Gracias, manito.
To me, this is a big, an important opportunity, of course. It's just another step. My goals and the progression that I think that I want to accomplish. And for my family, it's the same, because I'm the only baseball player from my family. And then everybody is excited, and I know that this opportunity is gonna allow me to help my mother and my family to buy a house for her, and give her a better quality of life. Then it is very important. I like I said before, it's not just important to me, but also for them, because I think we all can be better, and we all can live a better life. Chuck.
Hola, Oscar. Bienvenido. Two questions. One is, what, if any, White Sox players have reached out to you to welcome you to the team, the organization, and were you watching any of the White Sox on television or on your computer this year? And if you did, what stood out to you about the team or any player on the team?
¿Ha habido algún jugador del equipo que ya te haya felicitado por firmar con el equipo?
Todo.
Yeah, everybody reached out to me and congratulated me. Y si viste al equipo pues a través de la televisión durante la postemporada, durante la campaña anterior.
Sí, lo seguí, no voy a seguir que lo seguí 100%, porque, o sea, es que el tiempo mío era como que muy corto, o sea, salía desde el play, iba a ver play a las 6 de la mañana, viraba el mediodía, después el mediodía tenía que ir por un gimnasio hasta la noche, pero sí lo seguí mucho, porque yo tenía la aplicación de la MLB y yo veía los juegos y eso.
I watched a few games. I won't lie, I can't say that I watched all the games, because my routine here was a little busy. In the morning I was on the field, then in the afternoon I was working out on the gym, and I was pretty busy. But yeah, every time that I have a chance to watch the game, I did, especially because I have the MLB app on my phone. Then I was able to watch some games.
Who is everybody? Just give us a few names if you can.
¿Quiénes son todos de que dijiste que te felicitaron? Dales algunos nombres.
El primero que me felicitó fue Luis Robert a través de mi red social en Instagram. Me felicitó. Después me felicitó Jorge Sánchez, Erick Hernández, el que firmó también conmigo, Joel Quisepe. Casi todos me han felicitado.
Yeah, Luis Robert, Gilbert Sanchez, Erick Hernández, who also signed today with me, and Joel Quisepe. Okay, last question, James.
Kind of in the same line, what do guys like Luis, Yoelkis, Yolbert talked about how the White Sox kind of help as far as making the adjustment to living in the United States after being in Cuba, after living in the Dominican Republic?
¿Qué te han dicho pues los muchachos de lo que es el ajuste que hay que hacer o que vas a tener que hacer cuando llegues aquí a Estados Unidos? ¿Qué te han dicho ellos pues, del ajuste, de las cosas que
Sí,
vas a tener que hacer?
claro, lo primordial que me dicen es la disciplina. Disciplina, llegar bien físicamente, preparado mentalmente, que eso no es una carrera fácil, que lo que tengo que llegar es 100% ready para meter mano.
Their advice have been like just being disciplined. You have to be disciplined to to have success and to accomplish the thing that you want to accomplish here. And of course, get here in shape and show what you can do, but just take care of the things that you can do and be disciplined. That's what they've been telling me. Last one, Mark.
¿Tú quieres comida en Japan?
Oh, más o menos.
So.
Was it a great experience, a good experience, just playing and living in Japan?
Fue una buena experiencia el jugar y vivir en Japón en general.
Sí, excelente, muy bueno.
Yes, it was a very good experience. Excellent. Okay, well, thank you guys. Oscar, muchas gracias. Felicitaciones una vez más. Ya, pues aquí estamos listos. Gracias por tu tiempo. Guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us today. And it's now...
Yo, secreto del famoso Biberón, sigue en sintonía con la gente bacana, la máquina deportiva, lo que saben de Twitter.